Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm playing and reviewing Finspan, the newest in the Span series, this time with Fish and Water. And disclaimer that I got a review copy of this one. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So Finspan is a competitive game for 1 to 5 players, but it also has a solo mode, and that's what I'll be showing today. In the game, you play through 4 rounds, each one having different achievements you can get extra points from, or at least the first 3 weeks. The 4th week, you don't get any achievements. In each week, players are going to alternate taking 6 actions, either playing fish from their hand or activating columns of fish like the rows in Wyrmspan and Wingspan to get eggs on fish, to hatch those eggs into little fish young that can then form into schools, or to draw more cards. And at the end of the 4 weeks, the player with the most points wins. Now with the Automa, for their turn, you're going to flip a card, and they're either going to simulate a dive action by gaining some fish and eggs and other things, or they're going to simulate playing a fish card by drawing the top card of the deck, and usually they don't care what it is, although sometimes if it has a bonus for all players, you get a little bonus from it. And additionally, they'll be adding their meeples or taking them away from the achievement for the week, which is going to determine how many points they get from the achievement. And if you play on the highest difficulty, difficulty 5, then whichever of you and the Automa have the most points from a given achievement, you get a bonus of 3 points for getting the majority in it. Now, for me in this game, I've been finding that level 3 out of 5 is about the right level for me to sometimes win and sometimes lose, so I'm going to try that. I have not been able to win on 4 or 5 yet. So I've already got most things set up. There is an achievement side A where you have set achievements every game to kind of keep things simple, but for side B, you randomly draw achievement tiles and flip them around until you have one for week 1, week 2, and week 3, determined by these little hash marks you see there. For this game, it is very much focused on me playing fish, which is not always the case in the game. I'm going to get 1 point, that's what the little wave symbol here is, for every fish card I've played in week 1. I'm going to get 2 points for every medium fish I've played by week 2, and I'm going to get 1 point for every fish in general that I've played without any tokens on it, eggs or fish young or schools, by week 3. So playing a lot of fish is kind of the name of the game here. At the beginning of each week, I'm going to randomly take away 1 of the Automa cards so that they have 6 out of 7, but there's a little bit of variety in how they're drawn and what effects they have. But I always take the first turn, so let me show you how turns work and kind of how the fish cards work. So let's look at a fish card. You start out with 2 random basic fish cards that have a lighter back like that, and then 3 cards from the main deck that have a darker back like that. And each fish first has a cost in the upper left. In this case, I have to discard an egg from anywhere on my board. Eggs go on fish, and each fish can only hold 1 egg at a time. They'll also sometimes require you to discard young, which are little baby fishies which come from eggs. And once it hatches into a young, it doesn't have to be on the fish that birthed it anymore, and you can have multiple young on a fish. But again, an egg, you can only have 1 on each fish card at a time. Eggs and young are each worth 1 victory point, but once you get 3 young in the same space, they get replaced with a school, and that's worth 6 victory points, so double what you would get for the 3 fish individually. But yeah, so some fish will require you to discard eggs, some to discard young, and many will require you to discard a number of cards, 2 in this case, from your hand. So I have 5 cards. If I wanted to play the orange Ruffy, then I'd have to discard 2 of my other cards. Cards you discard go in your own discard pile, and there are many effects in the game. They'll look kind of like the card symbol. Oh, actually, here's one. That means that you get to draw a card from your discard pile. So your discard pile is open information, and you keep it separate. It is your individual discard pile, so other players can't take from it. Fish will also tell you which zones they can be played in. You've got the sunlight zone, the twilight zone, and then at the bottom, the midnight zone. So this one, for example, can only be played in twilight or midnight, but not at the top. The number of victory points they are worth just for having them on your board at the end of the game. Their size, which is going to matter for playing cards. You can play fish to go over other fish, but they have to be bigger. You'll see that these fish that are pre-printed on the board called forage fish are tiny. They're like barely any centimeters, so almost anything can eat them. You also get the type of fish here, small, medium, or large, which is going to vary based on the tail size. And that matters mainly for achievements. So like I said, medium fish, like the orange Ruffy, would give me 2 victory points at the end of week 2. You get some interesting facts about them. You get their, I guess that's their Latin name. And then over here, you get a few different types of things. Some fish will give you an immediate bonus when you play them. Like in this case, the Orange Ruffy costs 2 cards, but gets you 3 cards and 1 from your discard pile. Could be one of the ones you just spent. So it costs almost nothing. Of course, it's only worth 1 victory point. So wah, wah. The Faceless Cusk. My wife and I looked this one up. It's insanely weird looking. Go look it up. It gets you something at game end. Sometimes it'll be abilities you get to resolve at the end of the game, and sometimes it'll be victory points. In this case, this means you can play a fish, but it has to go in one of the bottommost 3 slots that have that symbol there. And then finally, you'll have fish that have an if activated ability. And this means when you take a dive action to resolve one of the rows, you'll get bonuses based on where you have fish located, but you'll also get bonuses for all the if activated actions in that row. And how diving works, if you want to use your action to dive instead of playing a fish, you pick one of the columns, and you have these little column bonuses. So this one is for the daylight zone. And it says I get to hatch an egg if I have at least 1 fish anywhere in here, which I have 1 pre-printed, so I'm always going to get that. This is get an egg on one of your fish. And this one is draw a card from the deck. But again, only if you have a fish in this area, not counting young. So like right now, if I activated this column or this column, having no fish there, not even the pre-printed forage fish, I'd get nothing. And you keep on going through the column. There's a bonus for the Twilight and the Midnight Zone as well, if they have fish in them. And then when you get to the very bottom, if this is the first time in this week that you've activated that column, then you get the little white box bonus. That's drawing a card from your discard pile, placing an egg, or moving young or schools, because if you get young together, that's one of the ways to form schools more quickly. But if you've taken a dive action in that column in a previous action in the week, then you won't get that bonus. You just put your diver there. All right, so that's basically all the action in the game, so let's get into my first turn. So yeah, I got to say, the Orange Ruffy is a great one to play, right? Because it's almost free. It's going to count for the fish achievement in the first week and the medium fish achievement in the second week. I got actually a lot of medium fish, which is pretty nice. So I will start with the Orange Ruffy. So who do I want to discard? I'm going to get one of them back immediately. I guess I'll discard the 2 fish that aren't medium fish for now, right? So there we go. And I can put him in the Twilight or the Midnight Zone. Now, in this game, I don't have any achievements. Sometimes you'll have achievements for like having complete rows and stuff. And you also care a bit about like adjacency and fish being the same row or column, because it's going to make it easier to put eggs on them and hatch them and then get them together into schools. But here, the main thing I really care about is getting fish in areas that don't have fish yet to get the bonus when I activate those columns. So I'm thinking if I want to play a ton of fish this game, let's lock in this Twilight Zone spot to get me more drawing of cards, because that's kind of the main thing I'm going to need to play a lot of fish. And that fish is only worth 1 victory point, so a nice easy one to eat later on if I want to, because that's the one cost you haven't seen from the fish yet. Some are required to eat a smaller fish to be placed on the board, like the predators. All right, and I get 3 cards from the top of the deck, and one of my choice from my discard pile. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't necessarily want to play either of these. But for now, I'll get the Faceless Cusk because he's fun. Oh, and sorry, I forgot to put my little diver there to show that I've taken a placing a fish action. All right, so that's my first turn out of 6 for the week. And now how do AI turns go? It's super simple. You just flip over their top card. First, if it has a diver symbol there, you put that on the week's achievement. Alternatively, if it has a crossed out symbol, you take it away. And this is going to be added to the base value for the achievement. So for fish, the AI is starting with 2. On difficulty level 4 or 5, you flip it to its stormy side, and then, geez, it'd be starting out with 6, so they get a lot more victory points. That's why I've had trouble winning on those levels. And then you're either going to see them doing a lot of stuff with their eggs and fish to just get points from tokens, or they're going to play a fish card. When they play a fish card, you flip it up, and you don't care about anything on it. It is always going to be worth 3 or 4 victory points for them, depending on the difficulty level you're playing on. The only thing that would matter is if it had, and this is why they have this little reminder here, if it had that symbol to show that all players benefit from that fish being played, then the player would get to gain a little benefit. But otherwise, you just put in a little pile and bam, they got 4 victory points. All right, back to me. I want to keep on playing medium fish if I can. I've got these 2. The plate fish. It gives me free hatching of eggs, 4 victory points. Can be played in the sunlight zone. Cost me an egg. I start with 2 on the board. There are pre-printed spots for 2 starting eggs and 1 starting young and a card. But yeah, that's pretty great. What's the other medium fish? This one, when he's activated, lets every player draw a card. Now, whenever you as the player activate an all players bonus, the AI, the Automa, gets a free egg, which is half a victory point, but usually they'll convert it into full victory points and eventually into schools. So you want to be careful about giving them too many free bonuses from your all player activations. But yeah, I think I'm going to do the plate fish. And let's get rid of Mr. Cusk again and an egg. Here are my 2 starting eggs, my starting young. They're all not really near each other yet, so it doesn't matter too much. Okay, now I get to put the plate fish in the sunlight zone. So I guess I want to do it here or here to start unlocking the bonus. Should I get more card draw? Should I just really go hard on that? Sure. So there goes my plate fish. And this is only if I activate the column, which I've not done yet, so I don't get his bonus currently. Right now he's doing nothing for me except getting me victory points. And yeah, I got to remember to put my divers there. All right, AI. They don't gain or lose a diver for the achievement. This is a dive action for them. Often this top row will allow them to convert 3 fish into a school to earn them more victory points. But you're always going to resolve these second and third rows. So this one says convert or flip up to 4 eggs to young. So now they've got 3 young ready to become a school the next time they get one of these. And then gain 2 eggs. Eggs for the AI are worth half a victory point each. The young are worth 1 victory point, and schools are worth 5 or 6, depending on difficulty level. At level 3 and above, they're worth 6. So this is just basically representing the Automa kind of churning their engine and getting free victory points. All right, again, I just want to keep on playing, although at some point I'll need to play some eggs and stuff. I can get out my last medium fish, the longfin batfish. We can go in the sunlight zone again. It's medium for next turn. I don't need to do it immediately, but it's a pretty good one. Oh, by the way, the Creole fish, this ability is the eating another fish ability. So whenever you activate that row, you can take a fish from your hand and tuck it underneath the Creole fish, regardless of size. And that's worth 1 victory point at the end of the game for each fish underneath. I've not found those abilities to be too exciting, but there they are. Now, the sailfin flying fish's ability is way better than the longfin batfish, because this is getting me a card from the deck, but letting the AI get an egg, because it's all players. This one would just let me get a card from my discard pile. Might not want the cards from my discard pile, but still, it's definitely nice. But I guess I'll use my last egg to play the longfin batfish. I'm going to place him in the last unoccupied column in the sunlight zone, because now I'll get all these bonuses whenever I activate those columns. And yeah, it's likely I'm going to need some more eggs very quickly here, and some more cards to be able to play more fish. All right, next AI. So they are taking away the one thing they had on the achievement. Now, only at level 5 are you fighting over achievements. And this is how it always works in the competitive game when you're playing on side B. On side A, you don't do this. But yeah, on side B, I mentioned this earlier, whoever has the most for a given achievement gets 3 bonus victory points. If multiple players tie, they all get the 3 points. But in the solo mode, only at the highest difficulty level do you fight over it. Do either of you get the 3 bonuses? So here we're just kind of giving them or taking away points from them not having achievement tokens. All right, now this is a more normal dive action. They're going to convert 3 young into a single school. Again, we're 6 to them. Then they're going to flip up to 4 eggs. Then they're getting 2 eggs back. All right, my turn again. Every fish I play is worth 1, but I don't have any medium fish left, which makes me think maybe I should take a draw action, activate that column. Let's do it. And you just go from top to bottom. So first, do I have a fish in the sunlight zone? I do, so I get to draw a card from the deck. Oh, I'm going to waste this, aren't I? You know what? Let me actually not do this yet. Let me get eggs first, because I want to waste hatching one. So I'm going to activate this column. So first I get to put an egg on any fish that doesn't already have one. And you want to kind of get your fish and your young close together to eventually get schools. So I'll put it there. Okay, then every player gets to draw a card, but for the AI, that just means that they're going to get an egg. Then I also have a fish here, so I get another egg. And I'll keep it all close together. I do not have a fish in the midnight zone, so no egg there, but I do, since this is the first time I'm activating this column, get 1 more egg, which I guess I'll put on this guy. Now remember, in week 3, I'm going to get points for every fish that doesn't have tokens on it, so I guess in an ideal world, I want to hatch those eggs, get them together into a school, and then move the school off. This icon right here, you'll see this on some fish, and also in this right column, lets you move fish or schools as far as you want in a given direction, kind of like a rook in chess. All right, Automa doesn't have a token to get rid of, but they are going to play a fish. And it does not have an all-player bonus, so it's just 4 points. Okay, now let's draw some more cards, and I'll hopefully play a fish for my last action. So first I draw a card, then I get to hatch an egg. I guess I can do this one. Then I draw another card because that guy's there, draw another card because that guy's there, and draw one from my discard pile. So that's 3 cards and a discard. So I got a bunch of cards, and let's get Faceless Cuss back. So in a second, I'll look and try to find a decent medium fish. Looks like I only got 2 of them, so we'll see which one looks better. And second last action for the Automa. I'm going to get back on the achievement, play a fish. no all-player bonus. Okay, now I want to play one more fish. Want to get a medium going. So I've got the skipjack tuna, which lets every player hatch a egg. He's worth 5 victory points and can go in a spot. I definitely got a nice spot for him. Or I've got the short spine African angler. Lets me move fish when I play him, which would actually help me start working on my first school. And draw 2 more cards. That part I don't really need. But he needs to eat somebody, which would mean I would be not getting the fish that he ate, counting for this first week's 1 fish bonus. Yeah, I'm going to go for the skipjack first. I'll get the short spine out very quickly, I think. I'll go in and eat this egg. And get rid of the Creole fish. Don't really love that ability. Oh, wait. Dumb Mike. I forgot that the plate fish needs to be in the green column. And I guess I wouldn't want to cover that guy then. So let's say I put him there. So let's say I would have drawn 1 less card. I'll just get rid of a random one. And I wouldn't have been able to hatch that, I guess. Yep, that was dumb, but okay. So yeah, still playing the skipjack. I still got rid of that, and I randomly discarded the Trevally. Sorry, not to my discard pile, because I would have never drawn it if that guy wasn't in the wrong column. Okay, but now, playing the skipjack, where do I want him? So now I might want to put him here. I was going to put him down here, but that might be too much hatching all at once. It's nice to kind of spread things out. So yeah, let's put him in the spot that I lost from my stupidity before. Trying not to cheat anymore, Mike. Okay, and last, they got 2. It's actually a lot. They do not have 3 fish, but they will next time, because they get a ton of eggs. Hatch in, and 2 more eggs. Okay, now we resolve the achievements. So they have got, as their starting point, 2 fish, because that matches the achievement, 3, 4, so they get 4 points. So this will be the bot. So that's 4. You keep track of these as you go. Whereas I have a lot more, because you are counting the pre-printed forage fish. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yay, off to a little lead. And to finish out the week, you put all these back. You can get rid of that. Technically, they have this to move around, but since you can get rid of the achievements as you go, you don't really need the round marker. You shuffle in the discarded card with the other 6, discard another card to create their deck again. You get all your divers back. And in a competitive game, you'd pass the first player token, but here, you're always first. Okay, so I know that medium fish are still a big deal, so let's get short spine going. I need to eat somebody. But that should be easy. I'll eat one of the forage fish. Okay, so let's take a place fish action. Oh, man, I also have to eat my only young? That's pretty harsh. And yeah, he can go in any zone. So it doesn't honestly really matter. Let's just put him here, I guess. So he is 80 centimeters. This guy's 3 centimeters. So you can play him there. And you can always play any fish, even one that doesn't need to eat, over top of another fish. And fish underneath are worth 1 victory point each. But, it's not a good idea to do that, usually, unless it's one that needs to do it. Okay, so when played, I get to move a fish that I don't have. That sucks, but I do get 2 draws. Yeah, going heavy card playing and, no eggs and young will, I guess, be good for all the achievements, like the fish without tokens thing, but it does kind of change my play style from trying to get a lot of schools. I did not get any more medium fish. We'll have to decide if I care about that or not. All right, Automa is getting an achievement, but it's actually usually good to get those early, because then if you get the discards, they'll actually take something away. And they're playing an Arabian carpet shark, which does not give me a bonus. Okay. I think I might draw more cards, because I really do want to, focus on medium fish if I can. Doesn't hurt to have a ton of cards, so I'm going to get 1. All of us are going to hatch, so they'll get an egg, and good, I got a young again, I guess, even if I'm just going to kill them. Second card, third card, discard. And I got a single medium fish. I guess there aren't that many of them left. And then, I don't know. I guess I'll get back the humpback anglerfish. The Creole fish really doesn't seem that great to me. So what we got with this guy? Black hagfish. When I play him, I get a fish. That'll be good. Or a young, and I get a card from my discard. Oh, and he just costs cards, and he can be placed anywhere. That's a great card. All right, and the Automa is going to flip a bunch of eggs and get some more, but no school yet. Remember, these are just basically point conversions, because every egg is worth half a point. Flipping them to a young makes them worth a full point, and then 3 fish becoming a school goes from 3 points to 6 points. They're just kind of upgrading and earning more and more. All right, I guess I should play the hagfish. And then probably actually hatch some eggs, and we'll get some eggs first. So yeah, let's play the hagfish for 3. I think I want to keep guys that are easy to play for cards. So this guy that needs 2 eggs to play. This guy gives all players a bonus. So that's not great. And then, this guy also, because when you get an all-player bonus when played, you give the AI, I think it's 4 eggs, so they get a bunch of stuff when it's a one-time power instead of a when-activated power. Okay, so I get one of them back. Well, whatever. I guess, actually, I'll get the Creole fish. He's not as dangerous, right? And when you get a young like this without actually hatching it, it can just go anywhere. So I'll go and put it on the plate fish, and we're one away from getting our first school. Okay, so I still can put fish here or here to get another bonus. And currently, I have 2 fish that can go in the midnight zone and nobody that can go in the twilight zone. But also, there is only one more spot from the twilight zone. I know I'm about to do the eggs. So let's put them down here, I guess. All right, Automa's getting another one. And another school. And a bunch more babies. And 2 more eggs. Yep. So I can definitely play more fish, but they aren't going to get me anything yet. And also some of the best ones I can play, like this Atlantic sailfish, is kind of crazy in their victory point value, require eggs and young, which I don't have any eggs right now. And I have young that are about to form into a school. So yeah, let's do some eggs. All right, so I'm going to go here. So I'm going to get an egg. We're both going to, well, I'm going to draw a card. They're going to get an egg. And then egg, egg, egg. So 4 eggs. Remember, only 1 per fish. And 1 card draw, and they're going to get an egg. And I'm definitely, it'd be dumb not to, put an egg right there, because if I get an egg hatching effect, like from using this column, I can immediately form a school of fish there. And I guess the rest can kind of all be together. These are worth victory points, but they're taking away my fish without tokens victory point possibilities for next week, but so it goes. All right, there we go. Get rid of some of those free victory points for them. Oh my gosh, they're going to another school. Yeah, they just tend to build up a ton of those. I know I did get another medium fish, the Atlantic Bonito. It needs to eat somebody else, but I have one of those starter fish still on the board. At game end, 6 victory points if there are 2 fish under this one. Okay, so I could try to play like a fish that has low victory points, but like a really good when played ability, and then have this guy go over top. Unfortunately, the long-snouted lancet fish, which would be perfect for that, because they get me a bunch of stuff when I play them, is bigger than the Atlantic Bonito, so I couldn't play this first and then that. And all the rest of these have like pretty good abilities, or have decent values. The Faceless Cusk goes in the wrong area, so he couldn't work. But this guy's basically free to play, so might as well get him for 5 victory points while he's worth 5, because all the rest of these cost more. So okay, I'll still play him. He needs to be in the sunlight zone. He needs to eat somebody, so yeah, that seems like the obvious choice. I'll still get 1 victory point for having eaten that guy. So it'll be worth 4 and then 2 for the achievement. That seems okay. All right. Oop, they got rid of another one. That's 2 fewer points for them, but they're getting a crud ton of guys again. So yeah, it's just kind of rinse and repeat here. All right. So last thing, what do I want to do? I think I want to hatch while the hatching is good, because I'll get a bonus action. I don't really need to play any other fish here. I want to get like some stuff off. So, okay. So we'll go up here. So I get to hatch for having fish here. Hatch again for that. I don't get to hatch for this. And I don't get to move anybody. Yeah, I don't have enough people on this column. But then I do get a free move here. So 2 hatches, free move. Okay, so obviously going to do that. Get my first school. Then for the hatching, the other one, this one seems kind of in the middle. A lot of people can reach them. And for the move, let's just get the school out of the way, because unless I play a fish there, then stuff just goes on top of it. It should be easy to kind of keep that away from everybody else and get more points for that fish without tokens thing in a second. All right, and they don't have one to lose. They just play a fish. Doesn't have a bonus. So that's it. So they are getting, what's their basis for medium? 0. Column is a lot easier. So they get 0 points this turn. And I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Every single fish I've played, 3, 6, 7. Wow. 14 points. All right, I might beat level 3 this time, but again, level 4 is quite a bit harder. Well, I guess here they would have only gotten 4 points instead of 0, so that's not crazy if level 4, where they had the stormy difficulty, was in effect. All right, we're going to week 3. Every fish without tokens is worth 1 point, which means like taking the egg-laying action would be the worst possible thing to do here, whereas hatching eggs, then moving them together would be pretty great. Which makes me very sure that I want to play like fish here and here before I start taking that action to make that happen. So who can go in the twilight or the midnight zone? Not a lot. The long-snouted lancet fish, but you need to eat somebody. There's no one there to eat right now. Oh, and the Faceless Cusk. Hey, maybe it's going to finally be your turn, buddy. He needs to be played on the bottommost spot, and at the end of the game, he would let me play a fish, but I have to still pay all costs. This icon still means play all costs. Onto another bottom spot. But yeah, that might be worth doing. Well, I really kind of just need to draw a better fish. Do I have any other? Oh, look at these. All these dudes can go in the twilight or midnight zone. Crud. So still, every fish I play right now is not going to have an egg or anything on them, which means basically they're going to be worth a free bonus point no matter what. So I should just play a bunch, I think. Ooh, here, why don't I play the long-snouted lancet fish and draw a ton? That seems smart. So, yeah. And he can go anywhere. He needs to eat somebody, but I'll still play him. I'll cover up my last nothing fish, because if you eat like actual fish, their victory points and stuff don't apply anymore, so you don't really want to do that. Okay, so that's it for his cost. I get 3 cards from the top of the deck, and I can move somebody. I'll actually move this over here now, because if I play the Faceless Cusk later, I'm probably going to want to put it right there to be able to get this bonus from that column. All right, what a 3 do I get? Live Shark Sucker. Great. Blue Spine Unicorn Fish. Man, the ocean is weird. So what's this guy do? He eats 2 eggs, and he lets me put 2 cards from my hand underneath him for 2 victory points. Who cares? Blue Spine Unicorn Fish. Okay, let's everyone hatch eggs, but still, that's pretty good. Oh, but still, all of them, except Little Skate. They can actually go in the Twilight Zone. Beautiful. They cost 3 cards, but I've got that. And they let me move fish. But AI's playing a card and getting an achievement. Still no all-player bonus. All right, so yeah, let's play that Little Skate for 3 other cards. Who do I not want? Creole Fish, man. I mean, there's so many. Faceless Cusk is okay. I don't need all of these. This guy's not that great. That's 2. So many top-level fish. I mean, the Sailfish is actually pretty awesome, so I think I want to keep them. Maybe this all players one. All right, so that plays for him, and I'm going to put him in my last Twilight Zone spot, so now I get 3 hatching of eggs whenever I play there, and a bunch of movement to get my eggs to where they need to be. Get some schools together, and also uncover my fish. Toma's getting a 2nd on the achievement. And doing this whole thing. Getting a school, flipping some eggs, getting 2 more eggs. I find that's really where pretty much all their points come from. All right, back to me. Do I want to play the Faceless Cusk down here to get my last bonus? I think I do, actually. Got a ton of cards. I do like the Atlantic Sailfish. I'm going to keep them and get rid of everybody else, so I'll definitely need some card draw in a second. He goes down here, and I want to make sure at the end of the game I have a Midnight Zone fish in my hand at the end of week 4, to play for a free action, because otherwise that'd be a total waste. All right, and they're ditching that. I'm playing all players, yay! So I get to activate this bonus, which means I get to put an egg out. Oh, that's what I wanted. Well, actually, it's fine. Let's fast track a school over here. All right, so I got the Atlantic Sailfish, but I can't play it. Do I want to draw cards before I hatch a ton? I think maybe I do. So I'm doing this. So it's 1, 2, 3 cards, 1 from my discard pile again, and they get an egg, I get a hatch. Because all the spots are filled, so I'll go and hatch that guy. What do I want to bring back? One of those guys that can actually go in multiple places. Actually, the Humpback Anglerfish or the Bearded Sea Devil. Let's get the Anglerfish. He's worth 8. That might be worst case scenario, somebody I can play with the Faceless Cusk's ability at the end of the game. All right, second to last card for them. They're just getting more fish and 2 eggs. Oh, no, they still have 2 more cards because I still have 2 more divers. Never mind. So I think I definitely want to hatch eggs and move. Do you want to do anything else first? Now let's do the hatching eggs and moving first. So I'm going to hatch. I'm going to hatch. I'm going to hatch. So 3 times. And then I'm going to move. So 3 hatches, 3 moves, but they get a free egg from the all-player bonus. So the 3 hatches is great because I only have 3 eggs. Well, maybe not great because now I can't play things I wanted to play. And then for the 3 moves, let's do 1 to finish the school. Let's do 2 to get it off that fish and put it down here at the bottom. We got a lot of bottom dwellers down here. And then for my 3rd move, I want to get these young, out of the way. Well, you know what? Actually, I really want to play this guy next turn, and each of the bonuses you get are optional. So I'm going to choose not to use one of my hatches, because I'm going to eat everything and uncover every fish I've got for a ton of bonus points when I play this guy as my last action. So yeah, so rolling it back a little bit, I didn't use this last hatch action. I'm also not going to use my last movement action because I don't care, because they're about to be eaten anyway. And yeah, that's a little better. AI gets a 2nd achievement bonus. And play somebody with no bonus for me. Yeah, here we go. For my last action, I'm going to play the Atlantic Sailfish. So I'm eating an egg and a young. And I got to trash a fish as well. I'm keeping him because he's my own. Well, I guess I got 2 Midnight Zone ones. Oh, 3. Wow. Okay. It's a lot more than I thought. In fact, this guy could eat the Faceless Cusk. Although, but then he would let me play another fish. That's very interesting. But all in all, what does this one do? Oh, places at the end of the game an egg on every small fish. Yeah, we don't need you. Get out of here. Have basically no small fish in the entire world, but I'm playing this guy. Doesn't really matter where he goes up here, so sure, there we go. And final Automa, they get rid of one of their 2 guys, and they do their little exchange. And how they do for the final achievement, they start with 3, +1, 4. And yeah, even though it's probably terrible for me to have no eggs or young on the board, I get every single fish. So that's 5, 8, 11. Wow. And that takes us to the final round where there are no more achievements. You don't even pay attention to those little icons on the Automa cards. We'll resolve any yellow abilities, game end abilities, and game end scoring if we can, but that's basically it. So here we go. So yeah, for now, I don't really care as much about playing fish. I really want to get like a lot of eggs out, first of all, because every egg is worth 1 victory point. And of course, if I can get them into schools, that's even better. So let's start out with an egg action here. I'll show you the entire thing. 1, 2, 3, 4 eggs. 1 card for me, 1 egg for them. And I don't care as much where they go, so let's keep them far away from the schools down there. What again? Abyssal. Oh, geez. So the Abyssal Halosaur, when played, lets me play a fish in the deep. And then the Black Swallower can go in the deep, would let me play a fish in there. And then that would let me play like the Humpback Anglerfish. When played, all players put eggs, on each bottom feeding fish. Oh, man. Okay. So it's kind of like a crazy combo here, but I'm using up a ton of fish. But, I mean, that guy's worth a lot of victory points. I might have fish on all of these. So I'm thinking like if I use the Faceless Cuss ability to play the Abyssal Halosaur will let me play the Black Swallower over the Faceless Cuss. The Black Swallower will let me play the Humpback Anglerfish, down. Oh no, it has to be in the green column. So like right there, and then I can put eggs on both of them, and it's like 18 victory points or something with a free action if I just make sure I have the required resources, which is what? A lot of young. 3 youngs. That's kind of like losing probably 6 victory points since I could probably get them into a school. Okay. So just good to know. But the Automas, playing the fish. Again, we don't care about this anymore. Oh, crud. I should probably draw some more? Or do I need to? I could just keep like running my egg engine and getting 3 points each time, but if I can play a big fish, that'd certainly be better. So sure, let's take a draw column action. I'm getting 3 cards, 1 from my discard pile, and hatching an egg. I guess there. Yeah, is there anybody awesome? Oh, I didn't get this yet. So the Hogfish, 6 victory points. Can certainly afford him. I get 2 cards from my discard pile and can move some stuff. This guy lets me, draw 2 cards, but he's not worth many victory points. Spookfish, I can't even fit him. I don't have any space left in the the Twilight Zone. This one looks pretty good for my discard pile. 6 victory points, and I can easily fit him up in the Sunshine Zone. I don't even ever need to activate him. Okay, AIs, just exchanging, but not getting a school. That's good. All right, so I need to hatch some more fish to do like my big combo at the end. But I also want to play the yellow box fish. Well, let's do him. That's a pretty straightforward one for some good victory points. So I'll play a fish. I'll get rid of, this guy and this guy. So I can't fit him. Play this guy up somewhere. Doesn't really matter. Automa is playing a fish. No bonus for me. All right, so I need to hatch some people, and then probably getting more eggs would be worth a decent number of victory points. I can't really play the hogfish without getting rid of the fish that I want to use. Well, if I hatch eggs first, then I think, doesn't that let me draw cards? No. Laying eggs lets me draw cards. Let me take a lay egg action. I'm only getting 3 eggs since that's covered already. But I'm getting a card, although they're getting an egg for at least half a point. Maybe this wasn't worth it. And I'll just keep putting eggs all around. All right, AI is getting some more school and stuff. Yeah, this is like the worst school points I've almost ever had in a game. I'm only having 2 schools because I've been focusing on other fish. But hopefully I get enough points from my fish that it's worth it. Okay, so I wanted to play the hogfish, right? Unless this cow-nose ray. No, I couldn't afford to play another fish with him. So I need to play the hogfish, discarding the ray. Oh, and that needs another fish? Crud. And then if I take a hatching action, I'll be able to hatch 3, which covers the combo I want to play here. You're not part of the combo. Get out of here. Okay, so I'm going to play the hogfish for an action, then I'll hatch, then end the game. So hogfish, actually needs 2 other cards. Perfect. And my only young that's out before I hatch. He can go wherever, and I get to move somebody. I don't think that I don't even have any fish besides schools, and I get 2 cards from my discard. I don't think that'll matter either. Yeah, I'm just grabbing whoever. I don't really care because I'm not going to play them. Second to last action for the AI. They're just converting. So 3 into a school. And then all these eggs become fish. But then they get 2 eggs back, so it's kind of the same thing. Last action is hatching and moving. I don't actually care about the moving, because I just want to hatch. And yeah, none of those give other players bonuses. And I'm not, if I hadn't activated that move last time, because I had like 3 moves to choose to activate. But I think, did the other players get a chance to activate even if you don't? Yeah, it does say even if you don't use the activation, the other players get it. So the AI is going to get an egg, even though I clearly don't need to move anybody. I'm just getting 3 young to eat for free with my final action. And they are doing one more conversion. Can we resolve final powers? There's going to be a bunch. Faceless Cusk. I can place somebody on these bottom spaces. And it's going to be the Abyssal Halosaur. I need to eat one of my fish. All right, so he's going right there. That goes on him. Then when played, I can play a fish to the deep, which is going to be the Black Swallower. He's going to eat the Faceless Cusk. He's not bigger than the Faceless Cusk. Why did I think this would work? Dang it. Okay, well, forget the Black Swallower. That was barely an upgrade anyway. In fact, I think this works out better. I'll play the Humpback Anglerfish, eating my last 2 young on the board. Yeah, really, I have like no eggs in young this game. It's crazy, but I can play him here. They will get 4 eggs because I played an all-player bonus. That is a one-time thing, so that's only 2 points for them, though, because it's the end of the game, so they aren't going to get to convert them. But then I get to put an egg on every bottom fish, so 3 more points for me, in addition to his 8 points. Yeah, not bad, not bad. All right, let's get to final scoring. So first we do game end points yellow. I didn't get 2 fish underneath this guy, so I don't earn that. Then we do points printed on visible fish. I'll count on mine in a second. But the AI, this difficulty gets 4 for each. So that's 20, 40. I better have a lot more than that because they're getting so many more points for their fish and stuff. So let's see, 6, 12, 16, 19, 23, 31, 36. Good start, 37, 44, 50, 56, 64, 67, 69. But that is, again, the majority of my points, so it might not be enough. Okay, now eggs, 1 point each. I have 3 down here and 3 up there, so 6. The bot gets half a point each, so for 6 they're getting 3. Young, 1 point each. I have 0. I have a lot, 7. And then, yeah, here it comes. Schools, 6 point each. I've got only 2 for 12. They got 8 billion. 9, oh my God, 9 times 6, 54. Yeah, I think they got me again. Gosh darn it. Consume fish, 1 point each. You just got to see. So that guy, him, 1. I think it was all the starting fish, right? 2, 3. Yeah, just 3 points. All right, I think they probably got me. Let's do some quick math. Or they didn't at all. Yeah, I forgot how big a swing that was. Me getting 14 points for the medium fish and them getting nothing. So I beat them by 10. Heck yeah. Now, for context, the last time I tried to beat the level 5, the hardest thing, I think they got 140. Hold on, let me find it. Yeah, 133, and I had 114 the last time I played the hardest level. So I did do better than my last game, but I still would have been beaten by the level 5 by about 11. Level 4, I probably still would have lost because they don't get that many more points going up to level 5. They just get the 3-point bonus for winning a category, but you also get 3 points for winning, and I think we went half and half on the categories so in that game. But anyway, that is Finspan, the solo mode. And what do I think? Well, let's put aside the Wingspan, Wyrmspan comparison for a second, just kind of talk about this as a Euro game. This is light, it's easy to teach. I taught it to my wife, who's not much of a gamer, and she really enjoyed it. My kids are liking it. The art is beautiful. It's pretty straightforward to learn. Yes, you might have a lot of cards in your hand, but the achievements and where you can fit fish tend to kind of cut down on your options, so it doesn't feel too overwhelming. The fish don't have a ton of powers to parse through, so even though it means you're not looking for as many combos, it's kind of easier. So, long story short, this is a pretty straightforward game. We've really enjoyed, I'm not sure if this is going to be your group, but we've really enjoyed reading the factoids about the fish, and when we find weird ones, we've even looked them up. Again, the Faceless Cusk, we looked up this whole story about how they had been found in the 1800s, and then they just found another specimen in 2017. So there's a lot of fun stuff here. I would even say, well, sorry, I'm not doing comparison to Wingspan, Wyrmspan yet, so we'll leave that to the side. But yeah, I think it's a straightforward kind of game to play. It is fun. You do always get the sense of building up, right? Because even though there aren't a ton of fish with if-activated abilities, it's not like you're getting a huge engine. This is not much of an engine builder if you look at that label. You still do, because you are filling in spots that don't have fish and making these columns work better for you. You tend to naturally level up and get more and more bonuses for your actions as the game goes along. And yeah, it feels fun to just kind of fill your board and have a ton of fish on there. The actions are quick to resolve. The turns don't take too long. The rounds don't take, the entire game doesn't take too long. You saw how quick this solo game was. And there's some variety in what you're going for, not just in the cards you draw, but also because you can flip to this achievement side B and then have a ton of different double-sided achievements. And you saw, I only played medium fish this game because of the medium fish goal, where I really tried not to have very many eggs or schools. And other ones, especially if, young or eggs or schools are going to benefit you, it's going to really change your action. So I think the achievement system does a nice job of varying the play, even though it is a very straightforward, kind of casual Euro game overall. Now, in terms of the spatial stuff in the game, I think it's fine. I don't think it's going to like blow anybody away. This isn't a bullet, where you're like really moving tokens in intense ways. Like, yes, you're moving your schools around to keep them out of each other's ways. Yes, you're like hatching your young and then trying to get them to the same place to turn into a school. And sometimes, based on the achievements and other things, you have certain places you want to put your fish. And of course, you don't want to like fill up a zone and then not be able to place anybody else out there. But yeah, I think that's all, again, still very casual, still very straightforward. This is not a brain-burning game, and I don't think it's trying to be. So I think for, again, more casual fans, for kids, for families, this is perfect. Heavier gamers might not enjoy this one as much. Now, let's get to the actual comparisons to Wingspan and Wyrmspan. I haven't played either of those in a while, so I'm not going to say that I have every detail in there. But first of all, the one thing I was saying about the factoids, Wyrmspan, of course, is not real. Dragons are not real, but I still think it's fun to like kind of read the stuff. I do find the facts here more interesting than Wingspan because I think there's just more variety in the crazy fish going all the way down to the midnight zone than there is between like the birds and Wingspan. So just as a personal thing, I found looking up these things more engaging than looking up birds and Wingspan. That's just a little minor comparison there. Now, the much more major thing is that, as I said, this is not much of an engine builder. Like I don't tend to get a ton of these brown spaces out. I don't activate them over and over again like you sometimes do in Wingspan and Wyrmspan. Really, most of your leveling up, as it were, is from just putting any fish in these spaces to get the free bonuses. So I feel like there are drastically fewer combos, and this is a more tactical rather than strategic game compared to Wingspan and Wyrmspan, where you're really just like trying to get achievement points and get the best kind of point scorers out that you can. And again, you're not like building a huge engine you're going to run for multiple rounds. Also, the biggest difference is that they have taken away resources, which honestly, I don't mind at all. Like trying to get resources as my action in Wingspan was never like, I think, a very fun aspect of the game. And here it's more about card management. I like that most fish are having you discard cards from your hand, but I absolutely love this, that you can get cards back from your discard pile. Because how many times in Wingspan or Wyrmspan or what have you like discarded a dragon or a bird that you weren't sure you needed at the time, but then later on you realize, oh my god, that's the linchpin of my entire strategy. Now again, there aren't as many combos here, so I don't think it gets to that level for Finspan, but I do really appreciate that you can just kind of discard cards and not worry too much about it, because even just the basic bonus for running this column gets you a fish back from your discard pile. So like if you mess up, if you need something back for an achievement or for a combo you're going for, the game really lets you do that easily. You're also drawing cards from the top of the deck, except when you're going to your discard pile, so there's no kind of like offer. It has a little bit more obfuscation. You might feel like things are a bit more random. But again, because you can just kind of churn through cards, discard them, and then get them back, I think the game is really kind of gentle. And the achievements are giving you victory points. Winning the achievement for a bonus 3 is not kind of the biggest deal. And in most levels of the solo mode, you're not even doing that. The solo mode itself is pretty similar to Wingspan and Wyrmspan from what I remember. I mean, none of them are really interacting with you a ton because these aren't the most interactive games out there, but it plays its turn quickly and it gets out of the way. So yeah, I've enjoyed Finspan. It is the lightest of the three, which does, I think, raise the question of what purpose Wingspan serves. At least for me and my players, because if I'm playing with gamers, I'm going to play Wyrmspan. If I want to play solo and have a more brain-burning experience, I'm going to play Wyrmspan. If I'm playing with more casual people or playing a quick, like, solo kind of filler experience, I want to play Finspan. When do I want to play Wingspan? When I want to see birds, I guess. So, yeah, it is interesting that by creating kind of like a lighter version than Wyrmspan also existing, they have sort of placed Wingspan in this awkward middle territory. But that's just me and my group, in my opinion. I'm sure others will still love Wingspan and play it a ton, especially with all the expansion content. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. And a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, J. William F., Pedro Lucas, Nick Skeen, Steve Wren, Wayne, Scott, and Miles. We'll see you at the next stop.